Hi everyone. This is my take on online courses. Now I'm going to give you an honest assessment. Selling online courses and taking lectures online, both for corporate and for open workshops, is a part of my business. So the honest assessment is that, and the short answer is that anything that you want to learn, you can learn it on the internet, but it is going to be very, very challenging. It's not just a question of the amount of effort that you put in, but it is also about having the right skill set to know what questions to ask and what websites to go to. So the short answer that I give to everyone is that YouTube is difficult, but it is necessary at the same time. As an example, if you want to learn coding, especially for those of you who come from a non-coding background, we have Mosh Hemdani, who has a channel called Programming with Mosh. It's an absolutely fantastic channel. His lectures are typically between 45 minutes to a couple of hours. And even though he has a lot of paid courses as well, even the free ones will help you start off on a right foot. Then we also have Trevor C. Media, who again has amazing free lectures available. Then we have Free Code Camp. They have over 1,000 videos on every topic imaginable. And if I may say so, I think the quality of some of these videos are even better than the paid courses that you will get. The disadvantage of doing a online course like a free one on YouTube is that there is very little direction and there is also very little hand holding, because when you don't have that push, it's very difficult to understand if you're proceeding at the same pace and also to motivate yourself. Hence, a lot of people end up pursuing online courses which are paid because you have the peer group, you have the community. Plus, when you have paid money, you want to make sure that you get an ROI from it. And it's very natural for a lot of you to start doing these courses online on YouTube and then drop it after 20%, 30%. It's the same for paid courses as well, but for YouTube, it's even more so. The second thing I want to talk about is the importance of identifying subject matter experts for every micro area. You know, when we say subject matter experts, people typically ask me, students as well as corporate clients, Havish, who is the person to follow for DAX or for Power Query or for Excel for that matter? And I tell them that for different things, you need different people. For example, we have Mr. Excel, who is Bill Jelen. He's considered the number one Excel guru in the world. He has over 50 books published. And he has over 2,000 videos available and is absolutely up to date, and everything is available free of cost. If you're searching for lectures on a very specific topic, for example, you want to look at Visual Basic in Excel, then you can look at Excel macro mastery. And Paul Kelly has these wonderful videos on Visual Basic. Similarly, if you're looking at Power BI videos are available in a lot of places. But if you're specifically looking for DAX, then Kerbal is a fantastic channel. If you're looking at Power Query, then Radicat is an excellent channel. Then we have something called CentDex, which is Python programming. And I will not really spoil it for you, but please make sure to go and have a look at this. I've been doing a lot of work on TypeScript, and I found this channel called Red Stapler, which is a bit of a all-in-one. So it covers very different topics, everything from web development to Excel programming. But this is a new channel that I found. Now, how do you keep a track and a catalog of all of this? See, there is no easy answer because there is an overabundance of these videos available. You really have to catalog it the way it is comfortable to you. If you notice, I keep on cataloging all these things. And it's very important because being able to find the right answer at the right time is very important. Tell me if this happens to you. You know that you have found the answer 6 months back, and you know that there is a website that covers that topic. And then you just sort of forget where it is and you're never able to find it. Or perhaps you're able to find it with a lot of difficulty. Does that mean that you should be aggregating and cataloging everything that is important? Now, that depends on the style of working. For example, I have a slightly above mediocre memory. So I don't have a terrific memory. Hence, I do catalog a lot. And also because I read a lot, it helps me keep myself up to date. And, um, that's one of the topics I want to talk about later, which is how important redundancy is. If you do want to do online courses, which you should, I do them too. In the past, I have done courses from Simplilearn, Udemy, Coursera, from LinkedIn Learning. And I think, especially for me at least, when I'm learning a new topic, it gives me an excellent introduction, post which I read alongside. So I always like to have a book for continuing my learning and covering more advanced topics. You have to understand that any online course will not really be able to challenge a book because a book is very dense. And the way that the topics are explained at a very granular level for any topic, whether it's Python programming or R for data science or Microsoft Excel for that matter, you have to read books. I guess going to blogs probably is also a good idea, but nothing beats a book. I mean, if you look at my bookshelf, I have books in all these areas which I pursue. Embrace redundancy. The first few steps are easy and it's exciting because you're learning something new, and it's a lot of fun when you are staying up till 2 a.m. and watching 2 hours of videos. It's that third and fourth hour that becomes difficult because by then we have learned quite a lot. And then you suddenly notice that the difficulty ramps up for most of these technical courses. And that's where we sort of fast forward the video, or we start skipping it, or we tell ourselves we will come back to it. Not that there's anything wrong in coming back to a video later, but yes, it makes sense to be able to complete it, without having that large break in between, because then that continuity is lost. See, redundancy is very important because when you learn a topic, you have to learn it from different instructors because everybody shares a different perspective. They have their own sets of experiences. And yes, it's boring. It's boring because for somebody like me who has been working on Excel for over 15 years, when I watch new videos, there's probably 70-80% that I know very well. But it's that extra 1-2% that matters a lot. And that's what differentiates the good instructors from the great instructors. I'm very, very hyper competitive. If I see somebody else doing something, I have to know it too, at least in the areas in which I sort of prioritize it, which is Excel, Power BI, Visual Basic. So remember, redundancy is going to happen invariably, and there's no easy answer as to how you tackle it. A lot of people say, no, I will select my courses very well, which is again something I want to talk about. But then again, the moment you do 5 courses on Visual Basic, then you realize that there is a lot of redundancy, but then you don't have to give up. That's where you have to persevere and work very hard. Since you will be doing online courses, please select courses very, very carefully. And another thing that I would like to mention at this point is there's no shame in leaving midway. I cannot tell you the number of times I've started doing courses and I've left it after 20-30% for a variety of factors. Maybe I feel that now that I know the basics, I can pick up a more challenging course. Maybe I feel that I want to come back to it after a year. Maybe I just wanted an introduction, or maybe I speed through the course. So, one more thing, do courses at different speed. it's not that you have to practice each and every example in each and every course. If I started to do that, I would never have been able to learn everything that I work on. It's very important to understand that you have to prioritize your time very well. For example, I recently have been doing some courses on Python web scraping. Now, that's not an area where I get a lot of projects, but definitely something where I like to keep myself up to date. And when I do these courses and I read articles on the internet, it's very seldom that I copy paste and try to do everything myself. Yes, practice is important because when you practice, you understand it better. But at the same time, I realized that spending an extra 2 hours in practice is not super important because I have learned enough, which makes me feel comfortable. And I can always come back and circle back to it later if required. So, just to recap, YouTube has to be your best friend. Somebody like me would probably do 60-70% of their learning on YouTube, but I don't recommend it for everyone. If you want to do it, please go ahead and do that. It is still necessary because you still have to watch a lot of content on YouTube. Even if you do online courses, you can't rely on them completely. YouTube will always have 100x more content. Identify subject matter experts. A lot of people feel it's very easy, but it isn't. Because for every small area in Excel, I can give you like 50 people. So essentially, for 50 small areas in Excel, I can give you one different person. So I know exactly who's the expert in the area within each application or software that I'm working on. And nobody can really give you a list unless you experience these videos and lectures on your own. You will not really feel it, and that's very important. Remember, no shame in leaving courses midway. It's okay to pursue courses at different speed. You have to embrace redundancy. Super important. And please make sure to remember that books are books at the end of the day. The nuances with which you learn topics, even in programming, in a book, is something you can't beat. I mean, no course or no online instructor can really match that. So just keep these things in mind. So all the very best, everyone. And I have courses on Excel, Power BI, Tableau, PowerPoint 9, R. So I'm a basic to intermediate Python R programmer. I'm more of a data analyst, but my expertise is in Excel and Power BI. In Excel, I have, like 2 dozen different courses available. So definitely make sure to have a look. And if you like what you see, it would be great if you can purchase a couple of these courses as well. And I would love to get your feedback on it. I also have a lot of videos on my channel. So just make sure to explore the other videos on my channel as well. And I am hopeful and confident that you will find stuff that you like. All the very best.